After 60, memory slips. You walk into a room and forget why. You set your keys down and they disappear. Sleep becomes lighter. Dreams fade. You wake up tired. It's easy to think, that's just aging. But what if it's not? What if your brain is simply starving? Not for more pills, not for more puzzles, but for something warm, real, and fermented. In Japan, they call it liquid memory. And it isn't a supplement, it's soup. A simple bowl of fermented miso, soft tofu, and seaweed. Eaten not in fancy restaurants, but in humble kitchens, by grandparents, night after night. Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, a Japanese doctor who lived to 105, ended every day with this very soup. Not because it was delicious, but because it worked. For memory, for sleep, for peace. This soup feeds your gut, where 90% of serotonin is made. It calms inflammation that clouds thinking, and it restores something most of us lose: gentle sleep and clear thoughts. You might be thinking, I'm not Japanese. I've never even tried miso. But here's the truth. You don't have to be born in Tokyo to eat this. You can make it tonight, right here in your kitchen. No bamboo mats, no secret ingredients, just a pot, a spoon, and a willingness to try something new for your brain. So if you're over 60 and still want your mind sharp, your sleep deep, your days peaceful, leave a comment with your age. Tell us what helps you wind down. And tonight, we'll show you how to make the memory soup they've used in Japan for over 1,000 years. Let's bring it to your table, one bowl at a time. Part 1. Liquid memory. Why this soup is different. Let's be honest. When most people in the West hear miso soup, they think of the tiny bowl that comes before sushi. Warm, a little salty, maybe with some seaweed floating in it. Then it disappears, and no one gives it much thought. But in Japan, that same soup is something else entirely. It's not an appetizer. It's not a side dish. It's a ritual, a form of quiet medicine. And for elders, it's memory on a spoon. The Japanese call it miso shiru, and it's been around for more than 1,300 years. But what makes this soup so special isn't just tradition. It's what's inside and how it works. Let's break it down. The memory. Trifecta: miso, tofu, and seaweed. First, miso, fermented soybean paste. It's not just for flavor. It's packed with natural probiotics, or good bacteria, which feed your gut and calm inflammation. Why does that matter for your brain? Because your gut makes over 90% of your serotonin, the same chemical that helps you feel calm, focused, and rested. When your gut is inflamed from age, poor diet, or stress, your brain suffers. You forget names. You wake up tired. You lose focus faster than you used to. Now enter tofu, made from soybeans too, but rich in plant-based protein and gentle phytoestrogens. These help balance hormones, especially for women after menopause. They also support neuroprotection, meaning they shield your brain cells from damage. Then we add wakame, or seaweed, a powerhouse of iodine, a mineral most Americans are low in, and one that supports your thyroid. Without enough iodine, your metabolism slows. Your body feels sluggish, and your mind does too. So now we have miso for gut health and calm, tofu for protein and brain support, seaweed for thyroid balance. Together, They form what researchers now call a functional neurofood, a brain food that works on multiple systems at once. What the science says, modern studies are catching up to ancient wisdom. One study in Japan followed over 1,000 seniors for 5 years. Those who ate fermented soy foods like miso soup regularly had lower risk of cognitive decline, better sleep patterns, and reduced inflammation markers. Another study showed that daily miso intake helped lower cortisol levels, the stress hormone. Less cortisol equals better memory retention. And remember Dr. Hinohara? He believed that food should be functional, not complicated. That simple, daily choices, like this soup, were more powerful than expensive treatments. A quiet story. From Kyoto, let me tell you about Mrs. Fumiko. She's 87, lives alone in Kyoto. Every evening, she prepares her miso soup. Boils a bit of water, adds a square of kombu seaweed, a spoon of miso, a few cubes of tofu, and some green onions. She eats it slowly, not because she's old, but because she knows it matters. It keeps my belly calm, she told us, and when my belly is calm, so is my mind. She doesn't take sleeping pills. She doesn't use memory apps. She just eats this bowl every night. And she still remembers her grandchild's birthday without a calendar. So why haven't we heard of this in America? That's a good question. Part of it is cultural. We often separate food and medicine. We treat memory loss like a disease, not a process. And we jump to pills before trying the kitchen. But it's changing. More doctors in the West are exploring nutritional psychiatry. The idea that food can shape mood, memory, and mental clarity. Miso soup is becoming part of that conversation. And the best part? You don't have to fly to Japan. You can buy miso paste at most health stores or Asian markets. Tofu is in almost every supermarket. And dried seaweed? You can get that online in seconds. You already have a pot. You already have water. All you need is a few spoons of curiosity. Next up. But here's what most people don't know. This soup doesn't just help your brain. It's also a secret weapon against bone loss, especially after 60. In the next part, we'll show you how this humble soup can become your bone's best friend, and why women in Japan break fewer hips than anywhere else. Stay with us. Part 2, the bone connection, how this soup protects your frame after 60. Let's talk bones, not the kind in x-rays, the kind that quietly carry you every day. Up the stairs, out of bed, into the garden. After 60, those bones start whispering. A little stiffness in the hips, a slight ache in the knees, a moment of hesitation when you stand up too quickly. And for many older adults, especially women, that whisper becomes a crack. One fall, one fracture, and life is never quite the same. But here's the good news. The soup we talked about, the one Dr. Hinohara drank every night, it doesn't just help your brain, it protects your bones too. The silent protector, vitamin K2. Let's start with vitamin K2, not to be confused with regular vitamin K. K2 is like the traffic cop of your calcium. It tells calcium where to go, into your bones, and more importantly, where not to go, like into your arteries. Without enough K2, calcium starts to wander. It leaves your bones brittle and clogs up your blood vessels. That's a double risk. Weak bones and stiff, aging arteries. Now, where do you get K2? Not from most Western diets. It's rare in American food. But you know what has it? Fermented soy, the base of miso. This is why miso soup is more than comfort food. It's a daily dose of bone insurance. Why seaweed matters even more. Then there's the wakame, the soft green seaweed floating in every bowl. It's packed with magnesium, iodine, and calcium, 3 nutrients that become harder to absorb as we age. But in seaweed form, they come in naturally balanced ratios, and your body recognizes them. Studies from Japan have shown that regular seaweed intake is linked to higher bone mineral density, lower fracture rates in postmenopausal women, better balance, and muscle support. In fact, in Okinawa, the region with the most centenarians in Japan, seaweed is eaten almost daily. A Western woman's discovery. Let me tell you about Carol. She's 71 from Oregon. After a small fall in her garage, she found out she had early-stage osteoporosis. Her doctor recommended calcium pills. She tried them. They made her constipated, bloated, and tired. So Carol started researching. She stumbled on a documentary about Japanese elders and bone health. She tried miso soup. She added it to her lunch just 3 to 4 times a week. A year later, her DEXA scan showed improvement. No dramatic reversal, but enough stability that her doctor said, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." Carol still makes her soup. She adds mushrooms, scallions, and sometimes spinach. She calls it her warm armor. Why American bones need this. In the U.S., 1 in 2 women over 50 will break a bone due to osteoporosis. 1 in 4 men will too. And after 70, fractures become one of the leading causes of long-term care. Calcium is part of the story, but it's useless without K2 and magnesium, and both are found naturally in this ancient soup. The best part? It's easier to digest than dairy, and it doesn't spike blood sugar like fortified juices. No side effects, no bloating. Just a slow, steady way to keep your skeleton solid. What if you don't like seaweed? That's okay, seaweed isn't for everyone, but even without it, miso soup still delivers gut-friendly probiotics and natural K2. You can also swap wakame for baby spinach, bok choy, or mushrooms. It's flexible, it's forgiving, and it works. Coming up next. So now your brain and bones are taken care of. But what about your immune system and your gut? Because in the next part, we'll explore how this very soup, yes, the same miso soup, can support digestion, balance blood sugar, and even lower inflammation after 60. You've seen how it sharpens the mind and strengthens your frame. But now, let's dive deeper into how it protects your whole system, from gut to heart. Stay tuned. Part 3, the gut connection, how this soup lowers inflammation and supports immunity. We often think of the immune system as something that lives in the bloodstream, fighting off colds, blocking viruses, standing guard. But the truth is, over 70% of your immune system lives in your gut. Yes, your belly, your intestines. That quiet, coiled, often forgotten organ you barely think about until it starts to hurt. And as we age, our gut doesn't just digest food. It sends signals. It manages inflammation. It decides whether we heal or stay stuck. That's why what you eat after 60 matters more than ever. Miso, a fermented gift to your microbiome. Let's go back to miso, because miso isn't just a flavor, it's a living food. Made from fermented soybeans, koji mold, and salt. It contains lactic acid bacteria that feed the good microbes in your gut. When those good microbes thrive, inflammation drops, digestion improves, your immune cells become more accurate. Instead of overreacting, autoimmunity, or underreacting, getting sick, your system finds balance. That's the quiet power of a miso. It doesn't shout. It recalibrates. Beyond yogurt, probiotics for seniors. In the West, we often think of yogurt as the go-to probiotic, but for many seniors, dairy becomes harder to digest. It causes bloating, mucus, and even joint stiffness. Miso offers a plant-based alternative, no lactose, no sugar, just clean, deep gut nourishment, and the benefits go beyond the belly. Studies show that fermented foods like miso may lower C-reactive protein, CRP, a key marker of inflammation, improve insulin sensitivity, reducing blood sugar spikes, support immune surveillance, your body's internal radar. Seaweed, a prebiotic mineral bath. Let's not forget wakame, the seaweed in the soup. While miso feeds the bacteria, seaweed feeds the fiber that feeds the bacteria. This is called a prebiotic, the food for your gut's food. Wakame also contains fucoidan, a unique compound shown to activate immune cells, magnesium and calcium, to calm nerves and improve motility, iodine, which supports your thyroid and overall metabolism. Together, miso and seaweed create a gut ecosystem that protects you from the inside out. A 104-year-old monk's secret. In rural Japan, there's a Zen temple where the head monk is 104. He walks with no cane. He wakes at 4 a.m., and he hasn't taken antibiotics in over 50 years. When asked about his secret, he smiled. "I care for the fire in my belly. I feed it only what is alive." He was talking about fermented foods, like miso, like pickled daikon, and warm barley tea. He doesn't see soup as food. He sees it as balance, for the seasons, for the body, for the mind. What if I have a sensitive stomach? Great question. If you have acid reflux, gastritis, or a sensitive digestive tract, miso soup may still work for you, with small tweaks. Use white miso. It's milder and less salty. Skip chili flakes or spices. Add cooked rice or oats to make it more soothing. Eat it warm, never hot. Start with a few sips at dinner. Notice how you feel the next morning, then slowly build a habit. Coming up. You've now seen how this humble soup supports your brain, your bones, and your gut. But what about your mood? In our next part, we'll explain why Japanese elders call this soup their evening calm, how it reduces anxiety, improves serotonin, and even supports better sleep, naturally. If you've been relying on melatonin, or worse, sleeping pills, this might be the gentler path you've been waiting for. See you in the next bowl. Part 4, The Evening Calm, How Miso Soup Supports Sleep and Mood After 60. It's 8 p.m. The TV is on, but you're not really watching. You're thinking about sleep, wondering if tonight will be different. Will you fall asleep easily? Will you stay asleep? If you're over 60, this is familiar. Waking at 2 a.m., restless by 4 and by morning, still tired. The solution often comes in a bottle. Melatonin, Benadryl, even prescription pills. But those come with cost, and not just money. Grogginess, brain fog, dependency. What if the answer was dinner? Let's return to that warm bowl of miso soup. Your gut makes your serotonin. Here's a surprising fact. Over 90% of your serotonin, your happy hormone, is made in your gut, not in your brain. Serotonin is critical. It helps regulate sleep cycles, mood balance, appetite, focus, pain, perception. When serotonin is low, you feel anxious, irritable, tired, and wired. It becomes hard to sleep and hard to feel joy. So how do we help the gut make more serotonin? By feeding it the right foods, gentle foods, fermented, mineral-rich, unprocessed foods, exactly like miso soup. Tryptophan, the precursor to sleep. Inside tofu and miso is an amino acid called tryptophan. This is the raw material your body uses to make serotonin. And serotonin then helps make melatonin, your sleep hormone. Unlike taking melatonin as a supplement, eating tryptophan-rich foods allows your body to create what it needs, naturally. This means less risk of hormone imbalance, more stable circadian rhythm, better REM sleep. And because miso soup is light, not heavy like pasta or meat, it won't strain digestion at night. That means fewer bathroom trips, less bloating, and deeper rest. The 3-minute night ritual. In Japan, there's a concept called yutan, or evening broth. It's not just food, it's a moment of closure. A small cup of soup, sipped slowly before bed. For elders, it's a signal. The day is ending, the body can relax, the brain can power down. Dr. Hinohara practiced this for decades. Even at 100 years old, he ended his day not with wine, not with dessert, but with a warm bowl of miso broth, just 3-4 spoonfuls, a moment of quiet, and then lights off. A story from Seattle. Let's talk about George. He's 68, a retired teacher living alone in Seattle. He tried sleep apps. He tried melatonin. But still, sleep was broken. One day, his daughter sent him an article on Japanese longevity rituals. He was skeptical, but curious. He bought white miso paste, tofu, and some seaweed. He made the soup. He didn't even like the taste at first. But he kept sipping, every night, same time. No screens, just quiet, and soup. 2 weeks later, he noticed something strange. He was waking up, rested. He felt lighter, not drugged, just well. And now, every time he travels to visit his grandchildren, he packs a small jar of miso paste in his luggage. He calls it his liquid lullaby. You can do this too. If you've never tried miso soup or you're not sure how to make it, don't worry. You don't need to be a chef. You don't need rare ingredients. Just water, miso paste, and maybe tofu or scallions. Boil water. Turn off the heat. Stir in 1 spoon of miso paste. Add soft tofu or vegetables if you like. Sip it warm, not hot. Do it slowly. Let it signal your body. Sleep is near. You may be surprised how quickly your evenings change. Final part. coming. You've seen how miso soup can support brain health, bone strength, gut balance, and restful sleep. But there's one last question. How can we make this easy to do? Every day. In America. In the next and final part, we'll show you exactly how to build a 3-minute soup ritual at home, where to buy the ingredients, how to adjust it for taste, and how to make this Japanese secret your own. Because wisdom is only powerful if it's practiced. Let's make it simple. Part 5, the 3-minute soup ritual, how to make it work in America. You don't need to live in Tokyo. You don't need a Japanese grandmother. And no, you don't need to spend hours in the kitchen, because making miso soup the right way takes less time than brushing your teeth. This is how thousands of elders in Japan end their day. And now you can do it, right in your American kitchen. Here's how. Step 1. The paste that holds the secret. Go to any Asian market, or even Amazon. Look for white miso paste, not red, not mixed, just simple, mellow shiro miso. It often comes in a small tub, creamy beige, smells a little salty, a little funky. In a good way. Keep it in the fridge. It lasts for weeks. 1 tub equals dozens of bowls. Step 2. Boil, then cool, slightly heat. A small pot of water, about 1 cup. Once it boils, turn off the heat. This part matters. Never boil miso paste. High heat kills the live probiotics. Let the water sit for 30 seconds. Then add 1 teaspoon of miso paste. Stir gently. Let it dissolve like honey in tea. Optional. Add cubed soft tofu, a few chopped scallions, or dried wakame seaweed. Rehydrates in seconds. You've just made real miso soup. Step 3. Set the scene. Now sit down. Turn off the TV. Leave your phone face down. Breathe. This isn't just soup. It's a signal to your body. The day is over. You're safe. You can rest. Savor it slowly. 3 to 5 minutes. No rush. This small act can reset your entire nervous system. No seaweed, no problem. Wakame is available in dry packets. Shelf stable, no fridge needed. But if it feels strange, swap it out. Try baby spinach, mushrooms, a splash of barley miso, even cooked oats stirred in. The idea isn't perfection, it's ritual. Start where you are. Use what you have. For busy days, you can pre-mix a few servings. Add miso paste to a jar. Add dried wakame and dried tofu cubes, optional. When ready, add hot water, shake, sip. Traveling? Pack miso paste in a small container. All you need is a kettle. This is what many Japanese businessmen, and even monks, do when abroad. And if you hate the taste, that's okay. Many Americans do at first. Here's how to adjust. Start with less miso. Add a touch of honey or lemon. Mix with a bit of chicken broth for fusion flavor. Use it as a sauce over rice, or steam veggies instead. Remember, it's not about taste. It's about what it does. If your sleep improves, if your digestion feels calmer, if your mood is softer, then the soup is working. You're not alone. Millions of older adults in the U.S. are quietly exploring this habit. Some learned from their travels, some from friends, Some from doctors, like Dr. Hinohara, who lived past 105. He called it evening nourishment for the body and the soul. And that's what this is. Not medicine, not magic. Just a quiet, warm, nourishing pause that heals you in ways pills never can. Safety and final recap. A gentle way to remember who you are. Miso soup is gentle, but still powerful. If you have high blood pressure, start small. Half a teaspoon of miso in warm water. Not boiling. Not salty like table salt, but it still counts. If you're unsure about soy, remember this. Fermented soy, like miso, isn't the same. It doesn't disrupt hormones. It supports your heart, bones, and gut, especially after 60. Start slow, twice a week, then feel. Let your body guide you, because this bowl isn't about rules. It's about rhythm, peace, memory. What did we really find tonight? A bowl that supports sharper memory, stronger bones, a calmer gut, and sleep that doesn't need a pill. No miracle, no prescription, just soup and silence. It's how Dr. Hinohara ended every day, even at 105. A warm bowl, a quiet heart, a life well remembered. You can try this too, tonight. And if it brings you peace, keep going. Let it become your ritual. And share it with someone you love, because a small bowl can carry a very long life.